Imagine waking up exactly 36 months from today. The sky looks the same. Your coffee tastes the same. But the biological hierarchy of planet Earth has permanently shifted. You are no longer the smartest entity in the room. For years, we were told artificial general intelligence, a machine that can outthink, outwork, and outmaneuver any human being, was a distant sci-fi dream, a problem for the year 2050. But that was a lie, a massive industry-wide illusion. The internal timeline just leaked. The architects building the future know exactly when the switch flips, and they are terrified. To understand the sheer magnitude of what is happening behind the closed doors of Silicon Valley, we have to look at a 22-year-old prodigy named Leopold Aschenbrenner. He wasn't just a mid-level coder. Aschenbrenner was a key researcher on OpenAI's superalignment team, the highly secretive task force led by Ilya Sutskever, explicitly designed to figure out how to stop a super-intelligent AI from going rogue. In April 2024, Aschenbrenner was fired. Shortly after, he released a 165-page document titled Situational Awareness. It wasn't a theory, it was an empirical blueprint of what the trillion-dollar tech giants are projecting internally. The consensus inside the labs: we are hitting AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, by 2027. But how can they be so sure? The answer lies in the cold, unforgiving mathematics of scaling laws. The researchers measure progress in something called ohms, orders of magnitude. Let's break it down. Look at the jump from GPT-2 to GPT-4. In just 4 years, we went from an AI that babbled like a toddler to an AI that can pass the bar exam, write flawless code, and mimic a smart high schooler. That leap took a massive increase in computational power. But here is the chilling reality. The tech industry is already building the infrastructure to jump another massive order of magnitude by 2027. We are tracking perfectly along the trend line. By 2027, models won't just be chatbots. They will be drop-in remote workers. Millions of autonomous agents capable of doing the job of a senior software engineer, a lawyer, or a biomedical researcher. And they won't sleep. But 2027 is just the beginning. It's the threshold. What comes immediately after is what keeps the researchers awake at night. It's a concept called the intelligence explosion. Right now, human engineers are the bottleneck in AI development. But what happens when you reach AGI in 2027? You suddenly have 1 million digital researchers. You assign these AGI agents to one single task: improve your own source code. According to Aschenbrenner's data, an army of AGI researchers could compress a decade of human AI research into a single year. By 2028 or 2029, the system wouldn't just be as smart as us. It would cross the event horizon into ASI, Artificial Superintelligence. A machine whose cognitive gap to us is the same as our cognitive gap to a chimpanzee. Try explaining the stock market to a chimp. That's how a superintelligence will view our attempts to understand its logic. We are documenting the most critical transition in the history of our species. If you want to survive the biological and technological shift that is coming, you cannot afford to be blind. Subscribe to Beyond Biology and turn on notifications. We don't do hype. We decode the reality of human obsolescence and how to adapt. Now, let's look at who is paying for this. You might think this sounds physically impossible. Where do they get the computers? Where do they get the power? Follow the money. We are currently witnessing the largest peacetime industrial mobilization in human history. Over the past year, boardroom discussions shifted from $10 billion compute clusters to $100 billion clusters. Aschenbrenner revealed that the final boss of this era is the trillion-dollar cluster. Imagine a single, sprawling data center spanning entire counties, consuming over 100 gigawatts of power. To put that into perspective, that is the energy equivalent of several nuclear power plants, or over 10% of the entire US power grid, dedicated solely to feeding a single digital brain. Tech giants are currently in a fierce, bloodthirsty scramble behind the scenes to secure every voltage transformer, every nuclear energy contract, and every piece of land available. They aren't building this for a better search engine. They are building the physical temple for a digital god. But a project of this magnitude cannot exist in the free market for long. This brings us to the most dystopian warning in the leaked manifesto: the national security state. Right now, OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic are basically handing the keys to human supremacy over on a silver platter. Their cybersecurity is practically porous against nation-state actors. But as the AGI timeline approaches 2027, governments will wake up. A superintelligence gives any nation an insurmountable, immediate military and economic advantage. It is the ultimate weapon of mass dominance. Aschenbrenner predicts that before the end of the decade, the project will begin. The US government will inevitably step in, seize the supercomputers, and nationalize the AGI labs under the banner of national security. You won't hear about OpenAI's latest model on Twitter anymore. It will be developed in an underground skiff, a sensitive, compartmented information facility. The race between the US and China will escalate into a shadow war for semiconductor supply chains and algorithmic supremacy. The whistleblower has spoken. The math is on the table. We are standing at the edge of the intelligence explosion, and the timeline isn't measured in generations anymore. It's measured in business quarters. By 2027, the smartest entity on Earth will likely be born in a server rack. And by 2030, we may no longer be the architects of our own destiny. The biological era is shutting down. The question isn't whether we can stop it. The question is, when the machines wake up and look back at their creators, what will they see? A parent to protect or a bug in the system? What are your thoughts on this? Will humanity control the AGI, or will the AGI control us? Leave your theory in the comments below. Stay sharp, stay vigilant, and see you in the next simulation.